Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein and I will be your presenter today. Today we are talking about handling duplicate givers. First thing you want to do when you're looking for duplicates or trying to figure out your duplicates. The place I like to go is going to be in donations and it's going to be in manage givers. I really like this screen because it shows everybody that I have in my database in one spot. Okay, so you can have membership individuals. Those are people that would have been entered over on the membership module that then carry over into donations. Those people are going to have this MEM next to them. And then you're also going to have people that have this DON. So these are givers that were entered only into the donations module. So from the donations module, somebody hit add individual and went to go with this add donations individual giver, okay? So there are two different types of givers here that we kind of need to pay attention to so we know when we go to clean up these records, where are we looking or where are we going to make changes to the records themselves, okay? So James Kildare, he's our example in the document that we're going to follow. And I want to show you in Manage Givers, because it's sorted alphabetically by default, you're going to see we have 1, 2, 3 different versions of James Kildare in our list. Okay. Another good test to see if you have any more duplicates is down here at the lower left. Check this Show Inactive box. And anybody who's been marked inactive is going to show up in red. So this is people who have been marked inactive from membership and people who've been marked inactive over here in the donations module. So this is a good way to make sure you're looking at every version. You could also come up to the top and start typing the name and just make sure, okay, 1, 2, 3. I have 3 versions of James that I have to get cleaned up, okay? So a couple other things to kind of pay attention to or make note of. Giver numbers. We want to make sure we get the James that we're going to keep the proper giver number. So we have a James with a 978, a James without a number, and then we also have a James with number 261. Okay. If we look over to the right, we can see we have 2 versions of James from the membership module. They have an MEM next to their name. And then we can see we have one with a V. This tells us that this version of James is from membership but has a visitor family category on them, okay? And this one, because it doesn't have the V, we know is considered a membership member. And then this one down here has that D next to it, which tells us they're in fact a donations giver, okay? So a couple of things you can kind of do at this point. Typically, if someone is a regular giver and they're going to be coming back and they're involved in the church, then we want to put them over in membership, okay? So we want to keep that membership record. We want to stay strong with that one because that's where all the good information is going to be, okay? The other one, if it's a D, again, we probably want to clean that one up. We can move the number around to anybody, really. And then the family category is pretty easy to change. So let's go look in membership because we're either going to keep the one with the V or the one without the V, the member. And I want to figure out which one has the best individual information on them. That's really going to kind of be our guide to who we keep. And it's going to save some ease with re-entering, okay? So in here, we're going to open up people and we are going to look for James. Now remember, we're only going to see 2 of the Jameses over here because the one with the D only exists over on the donation side. So I'm going to type James, and here just right off the bat, we see this visitor version of James doesn't even have an address. Okay, so that's pretty telling right off the bat that this record, it is extremely, extremely empty. Okay, you can see there's just nothing on this giver. All right, let's go look at the other version of James. Well, it looks like street is spelled wrong. We might as well fix that while we're in here. Going to hit the little pencil and just fix that to say street. And as we can see here, there is a lot of really, really good information on this version of James. We have his status, family relation, he wants to be in the directory, birthdays, baptism dates, emails, Lots of good information, and he has a giver number. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the version of James we want to keep. Now, an easy way to be able to tell which one we keep is to put a little star after their last name. I like to do this because sometimes I get mixed up with the different records. So if you just jump right in that last name box, put a little star in there, this is an easy way for you to see over in donations. Okay, the James with the star is the good one. That's the one we're going to keep moving forward. Okay. So now we have to figure out the giving situation. Do we have giving on other versions of the two James that we want to get rid of, that we need to move back to our James with the star, our good version of James? Okay, so I'm going to jump back over into donations. The best place to move giving quickly or in a large lumps of transactions is going to be up here under givers and then transfer donations. Okay, in here you need to specify the date range of the giving you're wanting to move. I like to go back pretty far to make sure I grab all of the giving, especially if this person's been around for a while. It'll let you go back to 1900 if you want to, and then hit apply dates. And now it knows when we're moving giving, we're going all the way back to 2000. Okay. If your giver is marked inactive by chance, the one you want to transfer the giving away from, make sure you check that box. Okay. But for now, I'm going to type in his last name. And as we can see, this is the from giver column. This is who we're taking the giving or the donations off of. Over here is the to giver. This is who we're putting the giving on or moving the giving to. The from giver box is only going to show you records that have giving on them. Okay, so we had 3 versions of James. We're only seeing 2 here. So the one with the V, the visitor one, because he's not showing up in this list, we know that there's no transactions on that visitor one that are able to be moved. Okay, so the only one we're worrying about right now for our from giver is the one with the D. So I'm going to choose that one. And we do got a little bit of giving here. And then I'm going to go over to the right in the to giver, and I'm looking for James again. And I want to choose my James with the star because this is the one that I want to keep. And as you can see, there's a decent amount of giving on this one. Okay. Because these two are the same people, you want to make sure you check this box that says these 2 givers are the same person, duplicate records. If you don't check this when you do this transfer, it's going to create reversing transactions on this version of James with the D. We don't want reversing transactions. We want to just completely remove that giving history off of James, which will hopefully give us the ability to delete him once we get the giving moved. Okay, check this box and hit transfer. Are you sure that we want to take it off James with the D to James with the star? And are they the same person? We're going to say yes, they are. So now there's no giving on James with the D, and all the giving is on James with the star, the one that we want to keep. Okay. That is pretty straightforward. Remember, there wasn't any giving on the V, the one with the visitor that we needed to move. So we're done moving giving at this point. Okay. So I'm going to close out of here. Now let's go try to remove that version of James with the D that we actually don't want anymore. So we're going to go into Manage Givers, and we're going to look for James, the one we just moved all that giving off of, and we're going to highlight his record. And because he's a D, he was created in the Donations module. So when we try to remove him, we have to come here into Donations. Down at the lower right, I'm going to hit the Delete button. Oh, he has a pledge. I'm glad that happened, actually. Let's go look at his pledging information because it's as a safeguard, it's not going to let us get rid of a person who has a pledging or giving. So let's go look at pledges by giver. If you're not a pledging church, don't worry about this. This won't affect you. But let's see. He has one gift here, or one pledge, excuse me. I need to remove that. All right, so now he has no pledges on his name. Let's try to delete him again. Are you sure you want to delete James Kildare with a D? Okay. We also see he has a giver number. Once we delete him, that number will also become available to assign to someone else or give to the James that we're keeping, depending on what number he should have. Okay. So I'm going to say yes. All right, so now when we look in the list, we're getting there. We just have two versions of James left, all right? The one with the V, we need to go address over in membership visitors because that's going to be the other one that we are wanting to remove. So back over to membership. Person lookup here up at the top in people, and we're going to James Kildare with the V. Let's see if it's going to let us delete this family. Now, if you do have some records that have some information on it, it's always a good idea to just print it out. Maybe then take that information and compare it to the record that you're keeping to make sure everything is correct. But right here at the top left, delete family. It's going to ask us, delete family for James Kildare. It's going to give you a warning message, but because we're cleaning up duplicates and we've already moved any giving or pledging, we're safe here. Check to confirm, and then we're going to say yes. So that other version of James, the visitor one, is now gone as well. Okay, so moving forward, when we go back into donations and we open up Manage Giver, when I type James in here, we just have the one with the star, which is the one that we wanted to keep. To get rid of the star, really simple. You have to jump back into membership again, go to James, and then simply just click in his last name field and backspace out that star and save it. Okay. All right, last thing that you might need to consider is the giver number field. If you don't use giver numbers, this isn't going to affect you. But right now, if we look over here to the right, you can see that James Kildare has that 978 giver number. But if we want him to truly have that 261, so that number that was on the wrong version, we can do that by jumping back over into members or back into donations. From donations, go into manage numbers. Oh, where did it go? It opened somewhere off my screen. There it is. Let me make it a little bit bigger. And we're going to look for James as an individual. You will see people as an individual and a family. That is completely normal. This is not a duplicate, okay? And as we can see, 978, it started at 1123. But if we want him to have that 261 number, we need to delete this number off of James. Over here to the right, we're going to hit the minus sign. We're going to choose to delete that number. Again, this doesn't affect his giving. This is just the giver number. And then we're going to come back up here for James. We're going to hit add new number. And we're going to give him 261 because it's available because we deleted the other record, right? And we're going to have that start 1/1/2023, or you can adjust it back to whatever date you need. I'm going to say okay. And now we have the good version of James with the correct number, and all of his giving is on one spot, okay? Now, if that pledge that we removed off of that duplicate version of James, if that should be on the one you keep, you do have to go back into pledges and put that pledge back on the correct version of James, okay? All right, that is everything that I wanted to go over with you guys today.